Look at these unlabeled vials moving down the line. In the pharmaceutical industry, the actual chemical makeup inside these bottles only matters if you can prove exactly how it got there. The golden rule is simple. If an action is not properly documented, legally and practically, it never happened. Yesterday, a massive, multi-million-dollar batch of a critical life-saving drug failed its final release. The chemical assays were perfect, the formulation was exact, but the entire batch is now slated for destruction because of a catastrophic failure in the paperwork. To understand why, we have to look at this framework, ALCOA. This stands for attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate. These 5 pillars form the universal standard for data integrity. It is the exact rubric auditors use to hunt down compromised records. We are going to dissect the specific batch record that doomed this production run. Inside, we will uncover the 7 distinct good documentation practice, or GDP, errors that destroyed it. To a regulatory auditor, a document with missing or illegible data represents an unknown risk, which makes the product legally unfit for distribution. The first failure happens right at the start of the mixing phase. An operator hurriedly scribbled a vital weight measurement into the log. The handwriting is so rushed that an 8 looks almost identical to a 3. A downstream technician reads that 3, adding 5 fewer kilograms of active ingredient than required, resulting in the wrong dosage formulated. Good documentation demands that every single entry is neat, unambiguous, and instantly understandable to a third-party reviewer who wasn't in the room. Further down the record, we find our second error. A technician logged the sterilization temperature data using a standard graphite pencil or an erasinol pen. To an auditor, non-permanent ink flags a severe data integrity falsification risk because those numbers can be quietly erased and rewritten hours later. The strict rule is that operators must use only blue or black permanent ink. This ensures the data is locked in the moment the pen leaves the paper. The physical permanence of the ink on the page is the literal foundation of pharmaceutical trust. Moving to the packaging phase, we find our third critical failure. An entire section of the worksheet is completely blank. The operator skipped it because that specific machinery cleaning step wasn't required for this run. An auditor looking at a blank void doesn't assume the step was unnecessary. They assume there is a suspicion of skipped steps or hidden deviations. To bypass a step compliantly, you must strike through the empty box with a single diagonal line, write NA for not applicable, and apply your signature. A few lines below that, the operator realized they wrote down the wrong time. To fix it, they heavily scribbled over the original text until it was unreadable, acting like a makeshift whiteout. Destroying the original entry guarantees an audit observation for obscuring data. The correct method is to strike through the incorrect value with one single horizontal line, so the original text remains legible. Then write the correct value nearby, sign it, and date it. In a good manufacturing practice environment, absolute transparency about your mistakes is vastly safer than attempting to create the illusion of perfection. Our fifth finding involves the clock. An operator executed a complex 4-hour heating procedure, but waited until the end of their shift to write the entire process down from memory. Human memory degrades rapidly. Relying on it to reconstruct batch data is a severe compliance violation. Entries must be contemporaneous. Data has to be recorded in real time, at the exact moment the activity takes place. The sixth error is found in the cooling logs. The critical temperature milestones are perfectly recorded, but the signature and date lines next to them are empty. Perfect numbers mean nothing if they come with zero accountability. Every single data point in a batch record must be irrefutably tied to the specific human being who generated it. Finally, the seventh error. An automated machine generated a messy thermal printout. An operator thoughtfully copied the numbers onto a clean form and then threw the original printout in the trash. Transcribing data opens the door for human error. Destroying the original slip results in the total loss of raw source data. Raw data, logbooks, and original printouts must always be preserved and physically attached to the official record. Without chronological traceability and raw source data to back up the numbers, a batch record is just a story, not scientific proof. Mastering these 7 pillars, legibility, permanent ink, no blanks, proper corrections, real-time entries, attribution, and original data, prevents a minor paperwork deviation from spiraling into a catastrophic batch failure. When a pharmacist hands a medication to a patient, they are relying on the integrity of this data to guarantee the drug's safety. Building a culture of flawless documentation across an entire facility doesn't happen by accident. It takes ongoing practice, rigorous review, and specialized training. I support pharma organizations with online and on-site GDP training, standard operating procedure preparation, and complete audit readiness. Precise record-keeping ensures that every pill and vial is backed by a verified history